Good morning, YouTube. Hannah back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we have to look at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. So guys, yesterday was a pretty crazy day. I'll be honest with you. There was a lot of news about Ukraine and Russia and how this could potentially affect most of the cryptocurrencies as well as the stock market. And yesterday took a pretty crazy turn, especially with cryptocurrencies. We saw a massive dump almost immediately when the stock market decided to open. Markets opened incredibly low, and then just a couple hours later we saw major dips pull us all the way down, and then by the time we closed the candle last night, we saw prices swing us all the way back up, and it seems like we formed a major reversal doji candle here, which is still pretty incredible. So there was a lot of emotion involved in yesterday's trading. We saw major dips, major swings back to the upside, closed practically where we opened, which is insane. And the S&P 500 actually managed to recover quite substantially back to the upside. Probably the biggest green candle we've seen on the S&P 500 since God knows when. Probably I've not seen a green candle this big for a very long time on the S&P. Regardless, don't let this fool you, as I do strongly believe we are going to continue to crack lower. There were certain key reasons, basically because we were oversold and retesting some pretty strong supports on Bollinger Bands as well as price floors, that caused this small dip or small correction back to the upside here. But ultimately, I am still a strong believer this is not over yet, and this could just be the beginning of a potential correction even lower. Yesterday, we pretty much drew targets where we expect to see the S&P 500 pull to, and the same thing could be said about, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So we do have to look at that. And I also have an article which pretty much summarizes all the crazy current events that happened yesterday. So we will be looking at that. With this all being said, guys, today's video is brought to us by a new NFT project called IDGA Frog. As you guys can see here, basically they are minting very soon, and they want you guys to check out their specific project here. Obviously, they are extremely new to the space, so definitely do your due diligence before buying into them. But if you're interested in NFTs and you like trading NFTs, this is a new project to the space, so definitely make sure to check them out. I will be linking them down in the description, as well as we will be going in depth about them at the end of today's video, so definitely stay tuned for that. With this all being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's episode. Remember, guys, we are still doing our crypto coin display giveaway. All you have to do to win one of these is comment your favorite cryptocurrency down below, as well as comment subscribed. And I will be checking, and if you're not subscribed, you will not win. We'll be doing the drawing on Sunday, so stay tuned for Sunday's video to see if you're the lucky winner to win one of these completely free. So guys, really quickly, I want to cover this article here. You can see U.S. markets recover after Ukraine invasion sends them reeling, which is pretty insane. Markets shuttered Thursday, which was yesterday, and then swung wildly after Russia's invasion of Ukraine threatened to push the high inflation, squeezing the global economy even higher. Initially, stocks tumbled, which we saw as prices surged for oil. You can see here the S&P tumbled 2.6% at the start of trading before erasing the drop, which we saw, and then flipped to a gain of 1.5%. It was pretty incredible to see how much movement the markets had in just a couple hours of trading within the day. And the heaviest losses really just hit the stock in Europe, as we expected here. But really what I wanted to talk about is, you can see here, oil prices shot up and jumped above $100 a barrel and then settled at $92 a barrel. And what's even crazier is they talk about the Fed, which looks certain to raise rates for the first time since 2018, with the only question being how quickly and how aggressively it will move starting next month. So yeah, we're still waiting on the March movements in regards to the Fed rates, which could very much so influence the price of cryptocurrency, and it could very much so influence the price of the stock market. And this is where my mind started to go when they say that the Fed may become more worried about the impact on economic growth. Will probably want to tread more cautiously, especially with all this news coming out. So they haven't even raised rates yet. They've only talked about it. And you can see the massive impact it's already had on the S&P, which has caused a pretty incredible drop. Currently, we're not doing too bad, though. We're down about 10% on average, which happens very much so often. I think it's happened over around 90 times since 1946, and we can expect to see a possible correction lower. I think the worst worst case scenario is we expect to see a 20% drop, which is definitely possible, but we'll see if that's continued. Regardless, we are in a lower high formation, which needs to be broken before we can expect to see any sort of bullish recovery, not just on the S&P, but on all the major cryptocurrencies here. Now you can see the Feds are talking about raising bigger than usual increases in the rates next month, and that stocks that tend to benefit the most from low interest rates led the way for indexes to pare their losses throughout the day. That put the spotlight on big tech stocks as well as Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, which all rose 4.5% or more. So yeah, we are starting to see a big swing which happened yesterday from that, but honestly, I think it's only temporary and we might start to see markets continue to pull lower. So as you guys can see, jumping into XRP, yesterday really didn't have much of an impact. If we actually closed at this low here, then we can assume that we are retesting price floors and bottom supports here. But honestly, the major recovery that we had yesterday basically put us at the next sideways consolidation, and we've seen this happen before. It's almost like what's starting to form right now has previously happened only a couple of weeks ago, where we had this massive consolidation before seeing a big swing reversal to the upside here. So really the same thing as I said yesterday is being applied to today. There's no reason to buy into these cryptocurrencies until we get a solid confirmation of what exactly is forming right now. You can see there is, for the most part, a massive XRP weekly chart, a descending triangle forming specifically here, which honestly needs to play out before we see any sort of general direction for, long-term bullish movements. And you can see this typically ends right about the end, mid-July of 2022 here. But short-term, and paying attention to what exactly is going on now, we are still intertwined within the weekly averages here. And what was incredible is even though we did dip below here, we seem to be getting very close to closing this week above this support. So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on right now within the market. We clearly have a price floor set at about 59 cents that as long as this holds, we may start to see a smaller recovery to the upside here. But a lot is coming out in regards to the S&P coming next month with the Fed rates increasing, and that ultimately may intervene with how XRP and these major cryptocurrencies move forward, as they do tend to manipulate these cryptocurrencies. So honestly, long term, it's pretty much just stay put. If we see prices dip us below 59 cents, we know to short the coin. And this is applied to a lot of the other major cryptocurrencies, which I'll talk about. But short term here, we just have to pay attention to how these prices kind of play out. Once again, the same thing as I said about the weekly also applies to the daily. We'll see how we interact with the support. If we can hold above it, we may experience a pretty substantial run up to maybe capped at 89 cents here. But we could also expect to see a dip. If we consolidate on this, we could see a tumble and we could see a correction to the downside here. Regardless, we are still consolidating. There's no real momentum or reason to buy in right now, as the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days have literally just trended sideways, and we might continue to do this until the end of this week. You can also see Ethereum is doing a very similar thing. Major reversal we had yesterday. Sideways trading has literally been taking place since the 21st of February. We're now the 25th, so about 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on the 5th day now, where sideways consolidation is pretty much taken over. And as for Bitcoin, which is pretty incredible, if we didn't get liquidated a couple of days ago, we would have definitely have gotten liquidated yesterday or today with these major price flares and surges. One might think, oh, we should have definitely have stayed in the market here. But honestly, even with this major dip, the quick reversal that we had would have stopped us out just as quickly as it would have happened a couple of days ago when we literally got stopped out. So for right now, markets are literally just consolidating. We just have to see how these play out. Everything is getting very close to retesting solid support levels here. But until we do, it's mainly just a waiting game. I'm sorry to say it, but our main focus is how these markets are going to form. Honestly, the best thing to do right now when markets are pretty much trading stagnant or not really seeing much of an opportunity to buy in is to just test your skills and get familiar on certain websites. Obviously, I like to use Bityard. I just check out the demo account that they have posted here. They give you $100,000 in free trading monopoly money cryptocurrency that allows you to basically test out the website, see and get familiar with how the platform works, allows you to put in leverage trades as well as shorts, and allows you to create stop losses. And basically, this just allows you to get familiar with the website. So definitely make sure to check them out, as I did link them down in the description below. And in regards to the S&P 500, even though we saw this incredible opportunity and correction back to the upside here, we're still below our major support. So it really depends on how we decide to open today. And honestly, I don't think it's going to affect much. You can see almost all the time that we become oversold, there is a temporary recovery, but it does typically lead to more correction here. You can see when prices tend to bounce off oversold, we typically have a smaller correction following suit. And you can see with this lower high formation, we may be able to open in a positive, hit top resistance, and until breaking through this, we're probably going to continue to scale lower. I'm trying to find some sort of example where we were in a lower high formation. You can see right here, this is a great example that as we started to continue lower, prices did become oversold. We had a small recovery up and then continued to pop lower. Once again over here, when prices dipped lower, we had a small recovery up and then continued to dump lower. So we can expect the same thing to happen to the S&P 500 until it actually hits a support and allows us to regain stability and break through the lower high formation. But otherwise, guys, I'm sorry there's no incredible emergency that we have to check out, as markets are pretty much just consolidating as they do from time to time. But with that all being said, guys, I do want to talk more about IDGA Frogs with you. I want to give a huge shout out to IDGA Frogs for sponsoring today's episode. As with all NFT projects, please do your own research and never invest anything you can't afford to lose. So guys, brand new to the NFT space, IDGA Frog is trying to start a movement dedicated for the true crypto natives, and their plan involves launching 8,889 NFT frogs that will mint very soon. Now, there will also be no tokens for founders or devs, and ultimately, as the market focuses on the dips and falling prices, IDGA Frogs unites the community and keeps it strong because it doesn't matter if the market is up or down. As their branding suggests, IDGAF, their long-term vision is like GTA but for frogs. Now, this is where the NFTs will have usage in the game and the metaverse, and that they will have an in-game token. Now, obviously, this is all speculation. First, they must prove successful during their mint phase, and if they are still around after their mint, then we can expect them to make improvements to their ecosystem. And the crypto gaming sector also has recently gained a lot of attention as NFTs launched are finally having some utility, which involves tying them into virtual games that gives them a use case. And to summarize, in traditional gaming and development, all the digital assets such as XP, in-game currency, weapons, skins, characters, cars, etc., all are owned by the developers. But whereas in a cryptocurrency game, the users own the items that are acquired during progress in a game, and since such games are developed on blockchain networks, all the connected computers have access to the same amount of information, decentralizing the control over information, giving equal powers and controls to the players and creators. Now, the developers can either create the whole game on a blockchain, or they can simply use it for the in-game currency, which is what IDGA Frog says they plan on doing. Now, in the former case, every interaction within the game is verified and stored in the form of new blocks in the blockchain. And for the second case, non-fungible tokens or NFTs can be used for in-game digital assets. As a player, you can actually own unique in-game assets and sell them for real-world money to anyone who is interested in that NFT's value inside the game. And also, IDGA Frogs is still an extremely early project, as they haven't even started their mint yet, but if you want to check them out, you can definitely do so by joining their Discord for early mentions about joining the whitelist. And on their website, you can actually clearly see their concept for the NFTs and their plan for marketing, as they recently partnered with CrowdCreate to help expand their marketing campaign. They're also thrilled to announce their partnership with Fanbytes, which has helped the most forward-thinking brands win the heart of Gen Z. And now Metapons is going to be a place where these NFTs actually have utility and where the game is played. So as you can see, it's outlined on their roadmap, and this will also be taking place within the metaverse. Also, as their white paper explains, IDGA Frog has been founded by no one single person, but by a group of collectives, which is hard to verify as they choose to stay anonymous. But with that being said, guys, if you want to know more about IDGA Frogs and their minting, or would like to check out their whitelist, definitely make sure to check out the links in the description. Otherwise, shout out to IDGA Frog for sponsoring today's episode. As always, make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.